trends always have a funny way of circling back around to the newest generation. In years past, we've seen the return of mom jeans, scrunchies, bell bottoms, and those chunky sneakers we hoped would stay back in the 80s.
But it's not just clothing that's finding its way back into our closets, but it's hairstyles. Our Jessica Rank joins us in the studio with a story you'll only see right here on KRBC.
David and Lauren, the 80s and early 90s, a big time for rock and roll, puffy jackets, and on your head, a mullet. And for some who hoped that hairstyle would just be a bad memory, others are taking it and making it all their own. Not just in Hollywood, but right here in Abilene.
Anything went in the 80s.
The hockey cut, the bi-level, Tennessee top hat, no matter what you call it, the mantra was the same.
Business in the front is party in the back.
And for teenagers in the 80s and 90s like George Levesque,
It was high school in Colorado City, Texas.
it was the haircut to get.
I thought, that guy's cool and his hair's about this long. I'm gonna be an inch longer and then I'll be an inch cooler.
For some, the style is buried deep in a photo album,
There will never be another mullet on this head.
but for others, it's the hit of their Instagram page.
I've always had longer hair and they just said, go for it.
Nicole Reno cuts men's hair at King's Barbers. And today, sitting in the chair, 15-year-old Carter Beard.
I mean, it's gonna grow back, so might as well try it.
We talk with baseball and football players and soccer players, especially professionally having them. We've seen a big surge in college and high school.
And even though it's an old trend resurfacing,
I cut almost, I think, 38 mullets.
barbers are being forced to give it a fresh cut.
Typically right now they're being faded on the sides. So you have to be able to do your fade it into longer hair on top, and then fade the short into long hair in the back, and then connect the back to the top. And so it's really essentially like 3 or 4 haircuts in one.
But with the added challenge also gives those behind the clippers
So it really gets to show all of the tools in your toolbox.
a chance, just like the hairstyle, to have a little fun.
You have, you know, super high and short on the sides with the really short hair on top. You've got the slick back, there's mohawk mullets, there's the comb over like we just did on Carter.
We've even gone as far as, carving the state of Texas on the side of the mullet.
They say no mullet is the same, and for James Bridwell, it's better late than never.
I always take it with a grain of salt when people are like, man, that looks really cool. I'm like, cool's probably not the word for a grown man to have a mullet, but I don't know, it's just fun.
If you were to open up a time capsule from the 80s, you'd probably find VHS tapes, a boombox, leg warmers,
The good news is it was a short period of my life.
and a picture of someone with a mullet. Who knew that opening up a time capsule from 2020, you'd find that same picture? Cringeworthy,
It was 2020, why not?
but at least we tried to have some fun. Now Nicole says she's done mullets on 40-year-olds and even some 4-year-olds. Now women are also getting the mullet haircut right now, but I think I'll go ahead and leave that trend to the more adventurous people. Reporting in studio, Jessica Rank, KRBC, Abilene's local news.
The mullet goes as far back as ancient Egypt, when warriors used to sport this style, keeping it long in the back to protect from elements and short in the front so the hair would be out of their eyes. Wow, the more you know.